Hi, and welcome to my additional videos to help you in your calligraphy journey. On this video, I'm going to be writing a longer quote and talking about my thinking process while I'm doing it. I haven't written this quote before, so it's the first time. That means that while I'm writing, I'm thinking and studying and evaluating the type of connections I need to do. And if I have two or three letters that are the same letter within the same word, I might need to jump on variations on the go. So I hope this series are going to help you to understand the thinking process behind writing something for the first time, the speed of my hand at writing, and the type of challenges or problem solving I need to go through for the first time. This is part of the design thinking process, and you can follow me with your nib and ink, or you can follow me with a fine liner or just a regular pencil. That's what I would use normally, a regular pencil to understand the length of the quote, the dimensions of the quote, the space I need to get the quote design, and many other aspects. So, okay, let's start. As always, I'm using walnut ink. I'm using a Hand 101 and an oblique pen holder, and I'm always using a fine liner and pencil and other things like that. So currently, the paper I'm using is regular 100% recycled copy paper. So it's not bleed proof, it's not thinner, it's just regular and recycled paper. In here, I'm using horizontal guidelines, which are 6 millimeters for each unit. If you need blank guidelines to work with, you can go to my Instagram account, follow the link on my bio, and subscribe to my email newsletters. After you do so, you'll receive an automatic email with a link to download a set of free calligraphy guidelines like this one in different sizes and orientations. If you don't see the email coming through, please check your spam or junk folder. So the sentence, the quote I'm going to write today, it's slightly longer, so we'll see how many lines we need. The quote says, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." As I mentioned, I have not written this quote before, so it's all going to be working out how much space, how many lines, and the combinations of letters I'm facing while writing them. So let's go in. I'm gonna go a little bit closer this time. I'm using a classic ratio for copperplate, which means 2 units for the ascenders, 1 unit for the X height, and 2 units for the descenders. So I'm gonna start writing, which I start with a capital T. Notice that my nib and the position of my nib has to be always aligned to the slant or angle of the writing. So let's start with capital T, T-H-E. Now, once I have done capital T, I get to decide what type of H I want. If I wanted to create a ligature, I would have done it beforehand, so that's not an option. Option 2, I can create a letter H with a loop and just do it shorter, or I can just get rid of the loop and do a letter H and a sender without it. So I'm gonna go with that one. So T-H-E. Next word is wall. So starting with W. Next word is will, W-I-L-L. And again, I have now the decision of using the same or changing the shape of W. So I'll keep the same. Okay, now so far I have three ascenders, which are actually the same letter form, three L's. And I noticed that in the last one, especially, I completely closed the loop. So I need to be mindful of that and go back to using the dimensions of the first loop, which I think are a lot more balanced. So the next word is not. And the next word is be. If you're a total beginner, I strongly recommend you to go to my playlist on YouTube, and you will find a series of 7 videos inside the playlist called Intro to Copperplate Calligraphy. In there, you're going to find knowledge on foundational letter forms. So the next word is will not be destroyed. So let me move the paper. Now, I don't know how long it's going to occupy this quote, but I know that it's not going to fit in one line. So my first decision is like, do I keep writing on the first line, or do I want to break the line at this point? I think I'm gonna write one more word and then I'm gonna break the line and then see what happens with the rest. So the wall will not be destroyed by, next to it. And then I'm gonna go into another line. So I'm using the classic ratio at the moment. So I have a lot of space between the first and the second line. The next word is those. Let me know if the sound of the nib comes through the audio. It's not scratching a lot, but it is always scratching, so it's part of the process. So if you think that it is scratching a lot, I don't think so. I think it's probably normal. So those who do, so another W. evil, comma, but, by. So I can see there is a lot of ascenders in here. I try to create the descenders mirroring the ascenders. But by those, so we have to repeat the same word again. I'm gonna do it on the same line because it's gonna be a very similar length. And then I'm gonna change the line now. Who watched them? So another W. Let me move up. Another W. Watch. Okay, and so them, THEM. Without doing anything. Another W. Now it's the moment that I almost make a spelling mistake. So up for letter T. And I'm running out of ink. So let's go. Okay, without doing anything. So now I can see the length of the 3 lines I have in here. So I'm going to fit it in. Probably it's going to stick quite out. So it's okay. I think I'm going to go with that option. And then I will talk about other versions that we can create. So without doing. anything. And then, yes, I'm gonna go with that one at the end. We need to get more ink. Okay, so now let's look at the whole code. Okay, things I can think and redo for the next time. Well, if I'm happy with the way how these 3 sentences are breaking, then I can use it like that. There is a very easy way that I can decide, well, this word, those, I can move it up here, and then who, I will move it up here, and then this last line will be quite even in terms of length. If this is what I'm looking for, good. Then I see that there is not a lot of descenders in general. So the next question is, do I want to bring the lines closer? Because there is only really one point where they might be touched, which is this one. But if I change the wording and I move it upwards, this is not going to be sitting in the same spot. So I'm not going to be touching the descender with my ascender. So if I reorganize the writing, then probably I don't have that. I can move the space closer to each other. Do I want to add variations? I have many W's. I realize that in English is probably a very, very common letter. So we have to keep this in mind. Depending on the language, we might have letters that are very common, like in Spanish will be S's or will be Q's, that in English, maybe Q's are not so common in comparison. So depending on the language you are using, also some languages use accents and diacritics, like French, Catalan, and Polish will have a lot of accents and diacritics. So the texture of the page, the what we call it, the calligraphic color, it's going to be different. It's going to be darker and more intense because we are going to have more punctuation marks on the page. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have a quote in mind that you would like to see, and you can pop it on the comments below, and let me know if this is helping you at all. Thank you very much.